Now we will discuss a topic that's been circling on Boxing Twitter for the past week. Who had the best undisputed run out of the last four guys? Terence Crawford, Josh Taylor, Oleksandr Usyk, or the new swan, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, I already have an opinion about this, but first of all, I'm going to read out the guys they faced to become undisputed. Terence Crawford was the first one out of those four. He faced, what's his name? He faced Thomas Delorme for the vacant WBO belt at 140. Stopped him 6 rounds. Then unified with Victor Postal for the WBC Ring Magazine and Lineal. Dropped him twice and won every round in that fight. It was a very boring fight, very one-sided. It was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life. I still remember that. Victor Postal just couldn't get off. Then he unified his WBC and WBO with Julius Ndongo's WBA and IBF. Knocked him out 3 rounds. Now looking at that, your 3 fights, or let's say from winning the WBO until you became undisputed, was in a 2-year span. You beat Thomas Delorme, Gary Jane, Henry Lundy, Victor Postal, John Molina Jr., Felix Diaz, and Julius Ndongo. 7 fighters right there, right? Knocked out all of them except the Victor Postal, where he won every round and dropped him twice. So, poor competition, but elite methods of victory, no questionable victories. Okay? Second person to do it out of those guys was Oleksandr Usyk. He won his WBO title against Krzysztof Belawski September 2016. Won that fight 9 rounds to 3 on all 3 judges' scorecards. Beat Fabricio Machunu. Fought Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter won the first 4 rounds. Oleksandr Usyk won the last 8 rounds and almost stopped Michael Hunter around 12. Beat former long-time reigning cruiserweight champion Marco Huck in 10 rounds. Stopped him. Then had a very controversial decision. You can say controversial because he's very close against Marius Briedis. A lot of people thought it could have went either way. Then he dominated Mario Gasayev over 12 rounds. So that, from September 2016 until July 2018, he had 6 fights. Stopped 3 of them. No, stopped only 2 of them. My bad. Had 1 questionable victory. Okay? But you could say he beat 2 A-level fighters and 4 B-level fighters. Terence Crawford, let's look at him. What can you say? You can say he beat 1 A-level and like 5 B-level and 1 C-level fighter. So Usyk has a slightly better resume, right? Now let's look at Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, from winning his title against Ivan Baranchyk, he won the IBF title in May of 2019. Dropped Ivan Baranchyk twice in round 6. Won that fight 7 rounds to 5. On 2 judges' scorecards, 1 judge had him 9 rounds to 3. This was in Glasgow, just to give you guys a point of view. Then he fought Regis Prograis to unify his WBA with IBF. That fight was a close fight, but a lot of people thought fairly clearly, even though it was close, Regis Prograis won that fight. Because Josh Taylor, his style of fighting is, I'm gonna maul you, I'm gonna wrestle with you, I'm gonna land shots on the inside, but barely any clean punching. That's how usually Josh Taylor is. He's not a mid-range, long-range fighter. He's a very, very short-range fighter. I thought Regis Prograis won that fight 7 rounds to 5. We were watching it the other day. Watching it live, I had an 8-4 for Prograis. Okay? So, but still Prograis, in my opinion, is the best opponent out of all opponents that these 4 fighters faced. Now let's move on. He fought Hong Kong Song in September of 2020, knocked him out in a round. Then fought Jose Ramirez to unify all the titles. Jose Ramirez had the WBC and WBO. Josh Taylor had the WBA and IBF. Fight was close early. I thought going into the 6th round, Ramirez was up a point. But then he dropped Ramirez around 6, dropped him there around 7, and I had Taylor winning that fight 115-111, 7 rounds to 5 for the 2 knockdowns. He took his foot off the gas in the last 4 rounds, gave Ramirez room to come back and fight. The judges, all 3 judges, had it 114-112, 6 rounds to 6. A lot of people cry they almost rocked him. I don't see it that way. The fight had 6 clear rounds, in my opinion, for Taylor, 4 clear rounds for Ramirez. So there were 2 swing rounds. If you swing both rounds, you get 116-110 for Taylor. If you swing both rounds the other way, you get 114-112 for Ramirez. A lot of UK fans said it was 16-110. It could have been any other way. Yeah, because you scored both swing rounds, Taylor. If you score both swing rounds to Ramirez, it's 114-112. So anywhere between 114-112 and 116-110, it's fair. It's not wider. It can't be wider. It's not closer, in my opinion. So that's it. He had 4 fights. He beat 1 D-level fighter, 1 C-level fighter, 1 B-level fighter, 1 A-level fighter. But he beat the best out of all those fighters. An A+ Enriquez Prograis. But still, in my opinion, he did not win it clearly. Now, Canelo Alvarez. I don't even have to pull up his box rec. Canelo Alvarez faced Callum Smith, beat him. I had him winning 9 rounds to 3, 10 rounds to 2. Then, in his first defense against Evan Yildirim, knocked him out in 3 rounds. Then, against Billy Joe Sanders, struggled a bit early, stopped him around 8. Then, against Caleb Plant, dominated Caleb Plant. I know Caleb Plant gave him some issues early in the fight, but he figured out his timing and his distance and knocked him out in round 11. So that's 4 fights against 3 undefeated fighters. He beat 3 B-level fighters and 1 D-level fighter. But he beat them all clearly. Now, the 2 guys that faced A-level fighters did not win all their fights clearly. The 2 guys who want opinion, you can say Callum Smith is A-level, so let's say the 2 guys who faced only 1 A-level fighter and a bunch of lower tier fighters, and Crawford and Canelo, won't earn their fights. So look, I'm going to say this. If I had to pick who had the best undisputed run, I'm going to say, let me rank it this way. 1, Canelo, 3 undefeated champions. 2, Usyk. 3, Crawford. And 4th, Taylor, because I thought Prograis beat Taylor. And Taylor just lost his last fight against Jack Calloway 2, so he shouldn't even be undisputed champion anymore, but that's a debate for a different time. So I think 1, Canelo. 2, Usyk. 3, Crawford. 4th, Taylor. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion in the comment section below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on podcast, tweet at me at Alzregani Sadiq on Twitter.com, and I will respond. Yeah, that's it.